It's that time again. We're back with another episode of The Buzz. On today's show, we have Stacey Dash to talk about the 25th year anniversary of Clueless. In our artist spotlight, we have Stereo Jane. We also have TikTok sensations, the Sharpe family singers. And then we have Bobby Jr. Soto talk about his new film, Tax Collector, where he stars alongside Shia LaBeouf and George Lopez. It's August. We're still in quarantine, and y'all ain't got nothing else to do. So sit back, let's start the show.
Hi, my name is Stacey Dash. Let's get buzzed.
It's been 25 years since Clueless hit the big screen. Director and writer Amy Heckerling wanted to do a film about the in crowd and Valley Girl culture. This movie spawned many breakout stars including Paul Rudd, Alicia Silverstone, Donald Faison, and the late Brittany Murphy. And one of the film's beloved character, Dion Davenport, played by the ageless Stacey Dash, will be forever embedded in pop culture. Ray joins us with Stacey as they talk about her iconic character and what she's up to now. Let's take a look.
Hi guys, I'm Ray here with The Buzz, and today we have a special guest. We have Stacey Dash with us, and we're going to talk all things Clueless. Hi Stacey.
Hello.
How are you?
Fantastic, actually.
So, of course, this year is a special year for Clueless. Tell us.
25 years.
25 years, which I can't believe that, because I feel like, I grew up with Clueless, and I'm like, I can't be that long. Like, what's going on? Tell us how that feels.
It's like you. I just feel like it was yesterday. It's wild that it's been so long. But, I just feel blessed to have been a part of such an iconic film that it will forever hold the test of time,
So take us back to just even before filming, just getting cast for this film, getting into it.
Yeah, it was when I read the script, when I read the sides, I was like, okay, I knew. I just thought, this is mine. This is mine. I just knew it. And I walked in to the first audition and, they're like, okay, that was great. It's great. They called me back. We want you to read with Alicia. So I read with Alicia. And then they were like, they wanted me to read with Terrence Howard and Donald Faison. So I did. And then, it was all these like group readings of the chemistry. And that was it. It was done.
What was, if you can remember, your first day on set like?
Wow. I think the first day was actually me in the Dr. Seuss hat and in the plaid. That was our first day.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, that was our first day, me going up the steps to get her, and then getting in the Jeep, or me coming down the stairs and getting in the Jeep and doing that whole scene. That was our first shot. So it was awesome.
So was it a fun set? Because it looks, obviously when you look at the movie, you just can imagine, how much fun you had on set. But then, of course, it's a movie, so it's, you have to do things a million times. How was it?
As much fun as you see on screen is as much fun that we had behind the camera. We had a blast. It was a blast. And that's because of Amy Heckerling. She had such a clear vision, and she was the captain of the ship, and her directions were just always spot on. You weren't confused, and we became we were our characters. They just fit us so well, and we just jived so well. It was a blast. It was a blast.
And that's a perfect segue, because I was going to ask you, how did you have to prepare for that character? People talk about getting into character, not at all. It's like,
I just imagined, because I'm from the South Bronx, so I was like, all right, what would it be like to be a rich girl who grew up in Beverly Hills? Okay. I'll do that.
Pretty sure I could, yeah, that sounds like a fun, kind of fun role to play. So in just the year that it came out, of course, it was a huge movie. What was that year of your life like in terms of people,
That's one thing I didn't expect. I didn't expect it to be so huge. It was not overwhelming, but it was just like, okay, wow. What do you do? And here I am, a mom, and everything, and everybody's thinking I'm a teenager in high school. I'm like, no, I have a kid.
You're like, I know. That's the funny thing too. I didn't think about that. Is that when we watch that movie, you're kind of immortalized as a high schooler, no matter how many years go by, and even at that time, it's just kind of like, no, you're in high school. So Do people still, of course they still recognize you for the movie, but do they still look at you and think you're, 16, or just kind of you're that character,
I mean, yeah, they just say they loved me in the movie and Clueless, and I feel honored. I think it's a blessing.
Let's talk some of your co-stars, because you talk about the synergy and how much fun it was. What was it like? Did you know any of them before, or was it kind of new?
Everyone was new. I knew none of them. No. And we just, like I said, it was just this chemistry. We all got along so well. I have no other words for it. And that's Amy. She just knew, she's a genius.
Now everybody has had their careers, of course. Donald's gone on and done things, and Alicia's gone on and done things, you've gone on and done things. Have you had the chance to keep in touch? Because I know I talk to so many stars, and a lot of them unfortunately don't get to keep in touch because they're so busy, but have you had a chance?
Donald and I have kept in touch here and there, and I'm in touch with Amy. Amy and I stay in touch all the time.
Nice.
Yeah.
So in terms of, projects spanning off of that, because of course, I think a phenomenon is really the word, because it spanned a series, it spanned, all of these things to this day. I mean, the 25th anniversary, who would have thought we would be back here being like,
Right. It's still exciting.
Exactly. What have you been involved in terms of, over the years, things to do with just that, iconic time that has transcended? Just like spin-offs, or just, people calling you and saying, hey, we have a Clueless convention.
No, well, that's,
come on.
No, I haven't done
Maybe
any
not
of
that,
the Comic-Con Clueless things. I have not done any of those things. And Amy does not want to do any kind of a spin-off, not yet anyway, any kind of a spin-off or anything. She did do a Broadway play, but a musical. She made it a musical, which I thought was really cool. But no, there's been no talk about that or anything. And I just think, you don't touch something like that.
Yeah. Well, it's so interesting, because I feel like the past year, 2 years have been the year of spin-offs, where all of these shows from back in my day are coming back. Some of them I'm like, please don't do that again. Right. Some of them I'm like, yes, Disney has come with all of these remakes and different people. So you think, Clueless, we should just let it. Yeah. I don't know, because I would kind of feel, it was one thing to do the series, and that was different because it was a series, and I think that was really,
and it was right after. It was like, the time was right there. It wasn't like 25 years later.
Right.
We're gonna do a different version of Clueless.
Okay, so we're not touching Clueless. I agree with that. I actually agree with that, because I think so many people, if you ruin that for them, it would just let's leave it. Okay, so the consensus is we're gonna leave it alone. But what projects are you working on now? And
well, now I'm doing interior design, and that's my passion. I love it so much, and developing a show. Nice. So we'll see. Hopefully that will happen and go through and be wonderful and fantastic. I just love it. It just gives me such peace and joy. To do that for people and watch their whole space transform and them transform. So,
And speaking of transforming, of course, I took a look at your Instagram. I have to ask about this time, because it's crazy. You have been kind of just, it was, I don't think it's yoga, but you've been just out in the countryside and just at peace. How has that been? Because I know all of us are kind of wanting to just escape a little bit and go just sit somewhere and not have to,
I've been spending a lot of time with God. I feel like that's what he's calling us all to do in this time, is get closer to him, and whatever that means for you and for me, that's Jesus Christ. And that's just, I'm grateful. I'm so grateful for this time. I really am, because it slows me down. It slowed me down, introspection, which is not always easy, but that's where you grow, right?
Awesome. I love it. I love it. And just one bonus question, because as you talk about interior design, that is actually not something that I think many people know about you, of what you're doing now. If you had to just, do a dream, either a dream home or design just your dream, dwelling, what would that look like for you?
It would look like an old world castle. I like old world. I like old world mixed in with mid-century modern, but I'm not going to give away my whole style.
Okay.
You're gonna have to wait and see.
All right, so when I get my house, I'm gonna put it in the hills somewhere. I don't know which hills yet, but when I get it, I'm gonna call you. But thank you so much for being here with us and for joining us to talk to us about, you know, this film that a lot of us grew up on, that meant a lot to us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You can still watch Clueless on Netflix, so please check it out. Don't go anywhere. We have Stereo Jane in our Artist Spotlight next. Stay tuned.
Passed on the bottle, let's pour that liquor. I don't wanna think about me. Baby, we can listen to the bass get thicker. I don't wanna make a big scene, so I swallow my feels, eat them up like dinner. I don't wanna talk about me.
Up next, we have Stereo Jane, which features sisters Sydney and Maya Schmeier on vocals and drums respectively. Together, the duo presents an edgy blend of genres that will leave you either headbanging or dancing on a dance floor. Let's check them out.
Hi, I'm Sydney. I'm Mia. And we're Stereo Jane.
I don't wanna talk about me. Passed on the bottle, let's pour that liquor. I don't wanna think about me. Baby, we can listen to the bass get thicker. I don't wanna make a big scene, so I swallow my feels, eat them up like dinner. I don't wanna talk about me. I don't wanna talk about me.
We were probably like 6 or 7 when we started thinking about having a band, but our dad was in a band, so I think we just kind of had the idea because we were like, oh, dad's in a band, we should be in a band. Like, yeah. So she started playing drums around 5, and I started around 5 too. So with our last song, with I Don't Want to Talk About Me, that was, we recorded it before COVID, but we weren't planning on releasing it yet. We didn't really know when we were going to release it, and halfway through the quarantine, we were kind of like, let's just do it. Like, it's already pretty much done. I mean, obviously, it sucks because I couldn't go back in and re-record vocals because it was just a rough demo. So we just ended up using the rough demo vocals, and we were like, let's just release it. And yeah, we're getting a lot of good traction on it, and I'm so glad we finally released something in quarantine. Yeah. The same management company that we've been working with since we were 15. Yeah, since we were 15. We've just been working with them on independent releases. And it's been amazing, just like having our team all be on the same page, and they really listen to us. It's not like when you're at a big label and they're telling you this is what you need to do, this is the only way to do it. It's like, no, but we want to do it our way too. We want to be able to do things the way we want to do it. And it's really nice that we get to collaborate with them.
Yeah, I mean, because while we were with the label, like, we'd go and like confide in our team, being like, what the hell is going on? Like, we really like this song and they don't like it, and like, it was kind of like, oh, okay, we're not crazy. Like, we all feel the same way. Mm-hmm. So when we left, it was like, all right, let's just like hit the ground running. And
with all of our favorite songs that we've written, and we got to release them. So, and we still have like a lot more to release.
Yeah, I know.
That we haven't recorded yet.
Yeah. We did like our first quarantine video for I Don't Want to Talk About Me. It was so crazy to do that. Like, everyone, of course, is like being COVID safe, and we had like our team like pretty much of like 4 people, and
yeah, we had basically hair and makeup, and then we had 3 other people working cameras, and everyone was wearing masks, and it was being super safe, and everyone got tested. Crazy is the craziest experience, because usually we just have all of our friends come to set and everyone hangs out, it's a good time. Our entire management team's always there, and it was so weird with the small group of people.
It is so when you see me talk to strangers. Don't you let it get the best of you. You let me slip right through your fingers, and now it's fingers running down me too. I can hear the blood rush through your veins. I can feel the heartbreak on your face. I'm on to the next. You hope you got it good if you watch me while I tattoo. Watch me while I tattoo.
A remix is on the way of I Don't Want to Talk About Me with a really, really amazing producer. We're so excited. Not gonna say who it is yet because our management would kill us.
like talked.
And then we have another song coming out shortly after, like a few weeks after,
in September.
Yeah, so
we're very excited about that one.
Yeah, we're gonna keep releasing. We have a bunch of songs that we already play live that we still need to get production on and like do final vocals, and so we have a lot of songs lined up that we wrote even like over 2 years ago that we still love and want to release. So even those we're gonna work on and release. We're still writing more music.
And until we, you know, have a vaccine and can actually go and like play shows and tour, because that's our ultimate goal, is just to go on tour and play. Because that's like a home for us is like on the stage playing live music. Like, I prefer that much more over even just like releasing songs.
Right now it's kind of like, let's try to get as much out as we can, and then whatever's the closest, we're like, let's just,
because we are so limited of like what we can do, like with getting finished vocals and like going in and playing drums on it and all of that stuff. So we're kind of just like, okay, this is closest to being done, then this, then this. So it's definitely a little bit more strategic. Like, it's not like, oh, this is dope, let's work on this.
Yeah.
Before all this went down, I wanted to put together a show with like us and our friends and just have like one hell of a night. Like, I just wanted to put this huge thing together, and then COVID happened, and I'm like, hey, next year.
Hey, we're Stereo James.
You've just been buzzed.
I Don't Want to Talk About Me is out on all streaming platforms, and the video is dope too. We still got more to go, so stay tuned. We all know that 2020 has been savage, with the Rona, the riots, social injustice, and now they want to take away our TikTok. But before the popular social platform goes away, we got a chance to talk to one of the platform's popular creators, the Sharpe family singers, about their newfound success. Let's take a look.
I'm Barbara Sharpe.
I'm Logan Sharpe.
I'm Samantha Sharpe.
I'm Aiden Sharpe.
I'm Connor Sharpe.
And we're the Sharpe family singers, and we have a dog, Chewy Sharpe, who's in a lot of our videos, but I don't know where he's at. He'll be around.
I came in like a wrecking ball.
Not at all. I came in like a wrecking ball. All you ever did was wreck me. Come on, you wrecked me. Daddy, okay?
I nailed that in the face.
Oh my God.
I spent 10,000 hours and 10,000 more. Oh, if that's what it takes to learn that sweetheart of yours. Okay, we're done.
Well, we actually were trying to get like maybe a television show. We kind of felt from our concerts that we were like a Partridge Family group, and someone said, hey, you should really start doing some videos online. So we were doing a show in Ireland. You want to tell them a little bit about it?
Yeah. Well, we were doing a show in Ireland, and then we said, well, let's go on a little vacation. So we had a couple of days so we could stay out there, and we went to the cliffs of Moher in Ireland, which is beautiful. And Sammy came up with the idea to say, hey, Mom, because we just saw Frozen 2, and we loved it, of course. And like, there's a song in there that a mother and a daughter sings. She said, let's sing that song. You call to me. And then the next week, she was going to Paris. Yeah. And so she answered me from the Eiffel Tower in Paris, and then she said, I'm going to put that online. I was like, okay, I don't know. You know, I didn't even have Facebook at the time, so I didn't know anything about social media. And she's like, all right, put it online, go ahead. And then
nothing happened, and then 2 months later, it just blew up randomly one day. And I ran, I screamed, I got my brother, I said, we're famous, it's happening. And then it kind of did happen.
Yeah, we got like 1 million views on that video, like overnight, and we didn't,
crazy. After
it'd been up for over a month. So it was really unique, and we were kind of hooked.
Yeah, and then it was just so much fun. So we're like, let's try another one. Let's try one with everyone. And we said, let's do some singing ones. And
kept working.
Went from there.
And then when the virus struck, we were all stuck together with nothing to do. And, you know, all our performance schedule was canceled. And so we were like, let's keep doing them. And about 100 videos later, here we are. TikTok stays open. That would be a really good thing. That's kind of been the talk of town lately. I mean, we over the course of 6 months have gained 3 million followers on TikTok. And we've done our analytics and we've reached about 250 million households. And I always joke that in all of our time performing on the stage, my wife and I, we met on stage. I performed constantly for 20 years and maybe performed for 2 million people if you add up everybody that ever saw me. And then we had one video the first day had 15 million views. And yeah, and you're like, why did I commute to the city and work 8 hours and come home for 25 years when I could have put a video out and reach, half the world, most of the world. So that's been kind of the eye-opening experience of it, is when you really add up the amount of work it takes to sit in a club and do a show versus, putting something online and letting people just grab onto it. We hope to keep making music, and maybe we'll release some albums in the future, and great things for everybody in this industry. Logan, say something.
What do you want me to say?
We're the Sharpe Family Singers, and let's get buzzed!
We still have more to go, with Bobby Jr. Soto dropping in to talk to us about his new film, Tax Collector. Stay tuned. Bobby Soto and Shia LaBeouf star in The Tax Collector as David and Creeper, a pair of enforcers who work for an LA crime lord known as the Wizard, played by Jimmy Smits. But when the boss's old enemy Conejo returns to LA from Mexico and demands David and Creeper work for him instead, it threatens their entire operation, forcing a now desperate David to do whatever it takes to protect his family from harm. Let's check it out.
Okay, what's up? My name is Bobby Jr. Soto. I'm an actor in the movie The Tax Collector, written and directed by David Ayers, the one and only.
You heard of me? What have you heard?
I heard you're the devil.
I might be.
Come on, fool.
Good, eh?
Every gang in LA has to pay their taxes.
What's up, Holmes?
Wake up. If you're stacked short, go rob a bank. Rob your own mother. There's no excuses. Do not test that.
Whoa, hey, whoa. Guys look like a couple of monsters.
So my character's name is David Cuevas. He's a guy that was born and raised in an organization of family crimes. He's a guy that's got everything, and he has a big shadow to live under, and he's put to the test, and he's asked the question of what's really important to him, in this lifestyle and in this energy, in this environment. When you come from the streets of Los Angeles, the most important thing you've got and the most fragile thing you've got is your word. Your word is your bond, and it's about honor and respect and boundaries and knowing who you speak to and how you speak to them and how you carry yourself. And a lot of the times there's questions of authority, there's questions of character, there's questions of who you are as a man, as a father, as a friend. You're put in these circumstances a lot where it's life or death, or survival, where it's like, either you're gonna run away, you're gonna stand up and fight for what you believe in. There's this famous saying, especially being Mexican, I'm Mexican Puerto Rican, born and raised in Los Angeles, so I'm Chicano. There's a famous cultural saying by Emilio Zapata, who was a revolutionary in Mexico, that says, I'd rather die on my feet like a man than live as a coward on my knees. And that's a through line through a lot of people that live in South Los Angeles and in New York and in places that are tough. It's like you're really tested. Your character is tested, and it's up to you to make that decision. My mother likes to say mind over matter. You're given these cards you're dealt with in life, and it's up to you to make a decision about what you want to make with them. My mother herself grew up without a father and grew up with a single mother, and she had to really work hard for herself. And so I learned a lot from her, and it's a continuous cycle in life. I mean, everyone goes through the same things. Whether you're born in a royal family or you're born in the streets of the slums, like, we all are handed cards, and it's up to us to make the best out of our circumstances. And like my mother said, this is mind over matter. And so it's what you want to make with it and how you believe in yourself. I grew up in South Los Angeles. I come from a family that are survivors. My grandfather was in prison since he was 25 years old. He's 62 years old. He just passed away. He was in prison for over 40 years, and my mother she had a hard time growing up as well. So I'm very close to a lot of this culture and a lot of this, it's very intimate for me. And so, the responsibility as a father, as being a big brother, as being a friend, as being a son, It's a very big opportunity that I get to express these parts of myself in this character. You know, being Chicano and having to be a leader is a big deal nowadays. You know, and we don't have that. You know, we don't have that as brown people. We don't have someone we can look up to. You know, I grew up as watching movies and TV shows, not knowing if I was the only person out there that was an actor, because I didn't see myself on screen. I didn't see my someone that I recognized with, someone that understood what I was going through. There wasn't none of that, you know what I mean? There's a lot of cliches and stereotypes, and what David Ayers did in this film was make it more human and become specific. He made it very genuine, authentic in the way that, you know, he even switched it up. He's changing the narrative. You know, if people are calling this a gangster flick or they're calling this some kind of crime movie, I mean, when's the last time you saw this, you know, Chicano wearing a leather jacket and a comb over? You know what I mean? Like, he switched it up. You know, you give him the nice house, you give him the family, you know, you test him, you see where he's at, you see what kind of man he is, you see what kind of man he's made out of, and the truth will come out when you put into these really tight places, you know? So fans can see The Tax Collector August 7th. It comes out everywhere on, you know, on iTunes, on Amazon, on Cox, on Vudu. There's so many platforms. At the drive-in, you can go to the drive-in, enjoy it there. It's a fun time. Stay in your car, COVID regulations, wear your mask. It'll be a fun ride, you know, as you get to go in a communal kind of experience where people are watching the same movie you're watching. I highly encourage that.
Open your mouth.
He'll splatter your brains out. I don't want that.
I do. I want that.
Wait, what's up? My name is Bobby Jr. Soto, and you've just been buzzed.
That's all we have. Special thanks to Bobby Jr. Soto, Stereo Jane, the Sharpe family singers, and the amazing Stacey Dash. Don't forget to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and double tap us on Instagram, all at buzz_access. Please wash those hands, practice social distancing, and we can get through this, y'all. Be safe, be safe. Before we go, I'm gonna leave you with a song that I think we can all relate to. I'm Trey Rich, love and light to you all.
Try Jesus, not me, 'cause I throw hands. Try Jesus, please don't try me, because I'm fine. I know what he said about getting slapped. But if you touch me or mine, we gon' have to scrap. So, try Jesus, please don't try me, because I'm fine. I have no problem laying these hands.
For more stories and extended clips, go to thebuzzallaccess.com. I'm Trey Rich, and you've just been buzzed.